Hello everybody. Today we will discuss about the design and implementation of the digital signal processing algorithm. In this lecture we will try to discuss the concepts of designing a system that will start from the requirement, and then we will discuss how the requirement will be converted in the form of the specification and how those specifications will be utilized in order to develop the mathematical model having a particular type of the system, then the simulation of that model, analysis of the performance of that model, and then we will try to discuss how the implementation of that particular algorithm will take place. So here we will start the discussion from very basic concept that when we say we have to design any system algorithm, then first of all we have to define what is the system. We can say system is nothing but it is a collection of parts that works together to achieve a goal or a task, or a set of objects and relationship among the objects viewed as a whole and designed to achieve a particular targeted purpose. It can be represented as something in this manner that the system itself, system or the algorithm, is a process that operates on a given input in order to extract the information or in order to get the desired output. If the desired output is satisfactory, it's okay. Otherwise, there is a need of the modification, that is whatever is the output that will be modified with the help of the feedback network or the feedback systems, and again given as the input here. So, and if we have designed any system, then as we know in the field of the engineering, we have to utilize the rules, regulations given by the mathematicians and scientists for the purpose of the designing of a new system or to enhance the performance of any existing system. It means we have to utilize the effective methodology, and effectiveness is nothing but it depends upon the human skills, software, and the hardware. And for the purpose of the developing an efficient system, first of all, we have to describe the requirements, and we know the requirements are always in ideal form. So we have to apply the practical approaches in order to convert them in a form of the specification that can be considered for the purpose of the designing, and it is also known as the determination of the parameters. So the first step is the definition here, and from the definition we have to derive the parameters named as the specification here. After getting the specification, we have to decide whether we have to interested to design a dynamic system or the static system. A static system is the system in which there is no memory, or we can say there is no capacity to store the information. But in the dynamic system, it has the memory, or we can say it has capacity to store the information. And if any system is static in nature without memory, it means that will be represented only by the polynomials having the nature of the linear or the non-linear system here, linear or non-linear polynomials. If any system is dynamic, then this system will be will have differential equation if that one is a dynamic and analog in nature, and if the system is dynamic as well as the digital, then that will be represented with the help of the difference equation. For example, say if we are interested for the dynamic system and now we are interested in order to design any analog system, then that system will be described by the set of the differential equations. And if we are interested for the digital system, then that will be described by the set of the difference equations here. And now, for example, if we are interested for the digital system, then set up the differential equation or a particular differential equation is represented by this one. That is that it depends upon here the summation of the bk's yn minus k is equal to 0 to 1 n is equal to this much here. That is the summation is equal to k is equal to 0 to m akx n minus k. And now if we consider here the bk as equal to the b naught as equal to 1, then y naught will be represented by this one, because the remaining term will be transferred towards the right side with the negative sign here. Now if we see this equation here, then we will find it has the two section. One is the this one that depends upon the present and the previous input here, and this section depends upon the previous outputs. It means if this section is missing, that is there is no here this term, then it will depend only upon the present and the previous inputs, and weighted by coefficient ak here. And this type of the system is nothing but, we can say, if we see, then we will find it is a value that is weighted by some another coefficient here, and then we have added that product to the next one. This is the pattern in which we represent the average of any numbers, suppose n numbers. Then we represent the summation of those numbers divided by the total number of the numbers, or the total number of the turns. But here, in that case, in the sum, the coefficient is fixed, that is 1 by n. But here, the coefficient is ak, weight factor is ak, that is moving. So this type of the system will be known as the moving average here. That is, if there is only this term, that will be represented by the moving average here. And if there is no feedback, because it will depend only upon the present input here now and previous inputs. It will not depend upon the output, so there is no need of the feedback, and it is without feedback here. Similarly, if we introduce this term here, then the feedback is required, and what happens due to the feedback, whatever is the output, that again will be considered as the input to the system here. It means auto regression takes place here. In the first case, if this is the only the equation here that describes the difference equation, and the system is excited by any impulse, then after a certain duration we will get here the a settled output, and this we will get this output, settled output here, and this is known as the finite duration impulse response. And in the second case, if there is a feedback, and due to this feedback, what will happen, whatever is the output, that will be again considered as the input, and now we will get again here the disturbances again and again. So we will get the settled response after the Similarly, we can represent here the if we are interested for the two-dimensional difference equation, two-dimensional digital system, then that will be represented by the double summation series here. And if we are interested for the analog system having the two-dimensional system here, then that will be represented by, naturally they will be represented by the differential equations in this manner here. Now the system is categorized as the here after derivation of this equation. Now if we see the coefficient either in this case or in this case, if the coefficients AKs and VKs are not changing their values with respect to time, then that type of the system is named as the linear time invariant system or the deterministic system. And if the coefficients are changing their values, that is the AKs and VKs have their different values at the different instants or the different iteration, then that will be named as the adaptive or the stochastic system. Now, depending upon the response of the system, that is, if we transfer this one into the frequency domain, then what will be the response, whether the system is suitable for the lower frequencies or the higher frequencies or for a particular range of the frequencies, or it rejects a particular range of the frequency. They are named as the low pass, high pass, band pass, and band stop systems are the filters here. Now we utilize the different types of the design methods. For example, if we are interested this type of the system that is having only the second term, then as we have described, this is named as moving average. So we will call this one as the moving average or the FIR, finite impulse response design method. And if we introduce the second term also, then that will be known as the autoregression, having the infinite impulse response in this case. Now, after this definition and deciding the design method, we have to analyze here the performances of the system in time domain as well as frequency domain. As we know, in order to transfer the information from the time domain to frequency domain, we utilize here the Laplace transformation for the differential equation, that is the analog systems, analog dynamic system, and we utilize Z transformation for the difference equation, that is the digital dynamic system. If we use the Laplace transformation or the Z transformation, and if in the case of the Laplace transformation, yes, that is the complex frequency is replaced by the j omega, and in the fz, that the Z transformation, if we replace z by e to power j omega, then it becomes a function of the frequency and named as the Fourier transform signal here. Now, in the Fourier transform, if the Fourier transform is applied to the discrete time signal, it is named as the discrete time Fourier transformation. But the discrete time Fourier transformed signals are not suitable for digitally processing purposes here. Then again, there is a requirement of the discretization or the sampling. And if the sampling or the discretization of the DTFT, discrete time Fourier transformation, takes place, then it is named as the DFT, discrete Fourier transformation. In DFT, there is a Twiddle function, and if the Twiddle function's properties, that is the periodicity and symmetricity, is utilized, then what will happen? The number of the addition and multiplication in this algorithm, or the set of the equations, will be reduced, and since the complexity has been reduced, so its performance will be more and more efficient here, and that will be named as the fast Fourier transformation. So in this case, we are using here the transformation, then Fourier transformation, DTFT, DFT, and FFT. But these type of the transformations are suitable only for the stationary signals, not suitable for the non-stationary signals, having in which case there are the set of the frequency, not a particular frequency. For that purpose, we will utilize, for that purpose, there is a method to utilize the short-term Fourier transformation, in which the total duration is divided into short durations, and then Fourier transformation is applied to those short duration. But what happens, again there is a problem, because for that short duration this signal may be considered as the stationary. So in order to overcome this problem, the wavelet transformation is used. In the continuous domain, it is named as the continuous wavelet transformation, and in the discrete is named as the discrete wavelet transformation. And in this case, the basis function vary in frequency, called the scale, as well as spatial extent, that is the high frequency basis covers a smaller area, and the low frequency basis covers a larger area. Now, after this analysis, we have to select a particular type of the approximation method, design criteria, in order to design the system. And for the different purposes, like the moving average or the autoregression, FIR and IIR, they are the different approximation methods. And we have to utilize these approximation method in order to design the system. When we say it, we have to design the system, it means we are interested to get the transfer function of that system here. And then its response, frequency response, will be analyzed. That is, its response in the frequency domain will be analyzed, and we will analyze the four parameters: what is the energy required, what is the area that is required to implement this algorithm, either in the hardware form, that is, what is the area that will be utilized on the silicon wafer when we are saying the hardware, or what is the area that is required in order to store the information, or in order to process the algorithm in memory space here. And then the speed, what will be the speed of this one, or what is the execution delay related to that particular algorithm. And if we are interested for the digital signal processing here, naturally what we have to do, we have to utilize here a certain number of the word length or the certain number of the bits here. So due to this, finite word length effect will take place here. As we know, in order to decide the here the rate of the diamond or the value of the diamond here, we have to utilize the 4 parameters: carat, cut, color, and clarity. Similarly, in order to decide the performance of any system, we have to analyze the 4 parameters, that is the energy or the power consumption, area that is required for the purpose of the implementation of the algorithm, and speed or the execution delay, and the last one is the finite word length effect here. After this analysis, we have to convert the algorithm that is suitable for the VLSI implementation, and then quantization and analysis has to be utilized here. Quantization means, as we have considered here this algorithm, in this case we have considered that the VKs and these signals have the infinite precision, but it is not true for any practical system. So that particular system have a particular word length. So this infinite precision has to be converted into the finite precision, and then we will utilize here after the quantization and analysis. What will happen due to the quantization? When we apply the quantization, the value of the VKs, AKs, as well as the value of the signals will be changed here. So location, position of the pole 0 may also change here. The total response may also change here. So again, we have to analyze whether we are in the required domain or permissible domain, or we are outside of the permissible domain. Now, if the result is satisfactory, then there is a need of the interaction with the machine or the computer for the purpose of the implementation. And for the purpose of the implementation, either we have to use the graphical representation or we have to use the high-level language. For the high-level language, we can use here the prescriptive language, descriptive language, or the applicative languages. Prescriptive language like the C, C++, etc. Here, descriptive language that describes the architecture of the hardware. For example, the VHDL, Verilog, etc. Here, applicative language, for example, MATLAB is very best example of the applicative language here. Here, block diagram representation represents the architecture of the algorithm. Signal flow graph gives the information about the flow of the signal. Data flow graph describes the one iteration of the algorithm, and dependence graph describes the complete algorithm of here, graph of the complete algorithm. Now it means, first of all, we have to understand the application problem, then we have to design the algorithm according to the requirement, then it has to be converted into the implementable algorithm form, and then we have to apply the different concepts, rules, and regulations in order to convert this implementable algorithm into the efficient implementable algorithm here, and then we will implement our algorithm if we are getting the satisfactory result. And for that purpose, suppose we are interested in order to download our concept on a given target, then we have to utilize here the integrated development environment. For example, say if we use here the Code Composer Studio as the integrated development environment, then whatever is the code that will be passed through the different section of the CCS or the IDE. For example, the compiler will accept the .c code, output will be the .sm, and then assembler accept the .sm file, and output of the assembler is the .obj, and then linker, the output of the linker is the .out or the .bin that will be downloaded to the target hardware, or that may be utilized for the purpose of the simulation and the emulation. This is the concept in which we have described that first of all we have to know the requirements, and then we have to describe the algorithm here. We have to derive the algorithm, and for the purpose of the architectural design, these mathematical formulation or algorithm needs to be converted either in the behavioral description language or the graphical representation. When we say behavioral graphical representation description language, it means we have to utilize the prescriptive language, descriptive language, or the applicative language. Similarly, if we are interested for the graphical representation, then we have to utilize here the block diagram, signal flow graph, data flow graph, and the dependence graph here. Now, as we know, if we are interested in order to design any system, then first of all, we have to derive the equation for that particular algorithm. For example, we are interested in order to design a 3-type FIR filter, then that filter can be described in the different difference equation, like in this manner, that is the output will depend upon the present input here weighted by the coefficient A, and the delayed input then multiplied by the B, delayed by 2 unit and multiplied by C, and their addition here. This is the if 3-type FIR filter, because there are the 3 typing point, one for the xn, xn minus 1 and xn minus 2, and the order of the filter is the 2 here, because we have to utilize the 2 delays here. Now the graphical representation we can utilize here for the purpose of the enhancement. We can use here the concept of the graphical representation. Then for the direct form structure of the filter, we can use this one, that is the here the whatever is the xn, that will be multiplied by the A. If it is the delayed by D, xn minus 1 multiplied by B, again delayed by xn minus 2 multiplied by C, and these products are added here in order to get the final output yn here. Now see, if we are interested in order to analyze the speed of the algorithm, then we have to analyze the critical path, the path with the longest computational time along all paths that contains the zero delays here, that is between the input and output, or between the input and the first energy storing element, or the energy storing element to the energy storing element, or the energy storing element to the output. Here, if we say energy storing element, it is nothing but that is the delay. Here the flip-flop and pipelining. In order to enhance the performance of the system, first of all, we have to analyze the critical path. Then by utilizing these algorithms, that is the pipelining, that increases the clock speed or the sample speed, we can enhance the performance of that design system. Or we can use here the parallel processing that converts a single input, single output system to the multiple input, multiple output system via parallelism. We can again enhance the performance of the system by utilizing this concept here. Or sometimes we can utilize a combination of these two, pipelining and the parallel processing here. One algorithm is retiming, that is used to change the location of the delay elements, that is to increase the clock rate of a circuit by reducing the computation time of the critical path here, and then folding to create a new program describing more than one iteration of the original folding here, and then unfolding, it is used to reduce the number of the hardware functional units by a factor of the n, and hence we can enhance the performance of the designed algorithm here. So we can say, first of all, we have to derive the algorithm. Then for that algorithm, we have to calculate the critical path. Then by reducing this critical path or the critical path length, we can enhance the performance of that designed algorithm. And for that purpose, we can use here the pipelining, parallel processing, retiming, folding, unfolding, etc. here. Now, suppose this is the algorithm here, that is for the 3-type FIR filter, which we have discussed. Then if we see here the critical path delay, then we will find here this is the critical path delay, because the input to output without any delay. Or we can also consider this path. And in both the cases, the path length is the having the one multiplier and the two adder. In this path also, one multiplier and the two adder. So we can say the critical path length is the Tm plus 2a here. And so if this is the critical path, so the sampling time period must be always greater than this T critical here. So to achieve the high speed, the length of the critical path has to be reduced. And for that purpose, we can apply here the retiming, or retiming means we have to use here the delays in the critical path. And how these position and locations will be described, where we have to introduce the delays. That will be done with the help of the cut set algorithm. So after cut set algorithm, we will introduce this one, and this is named as the here the pipelining, because in this one we are reducing the critical path length. Now we have introduced here these delays, then what will happen? The critical path length will become that only the TM, that is the time execution time delay for the multiplier, plus TA execution time delay for the adder here. For a pipeline system, the here the sampling time period now must be greater or equal to this one, that Tm plus Ta, whereas in the previous case it was the Tm plus twice Ta. Now, as we know, this multiplier is nothing but that is again a combination of the so many flip-flop or the transistors. So if we again apply here the pipelining in order to reduce the critical path length of this multiplier, then it is named as the fine grain pipelining. For example, say if the multiplier has been divided into two sections, the first one has the 6 nanosecond and second one has the 4 nanosecond, where as we have assumed that the execution delay of the multiplier is the 10 nanosecond here. So after applying the fine grain pipelining, we can say we have here the reduce the critical path length of the multiplier from 10 nanoseconds to the 6 nanosecond, and this type of the pipelining is known as the fine grain pipelining. Now parallel processing, it converts the single input, single output into the multiple input, multiple output system. That is when in the first case we are using the operation of the system on a sequence, that is one sequence will be processed at a time, but here the multiple sequences will be processed at the same time simultaneously, and then we can say for the parallel processing there is no need to say that the clock pulse must be equal to the sampling time period, because in this case the T sample will be greater or equal to 1 by L by times the T critical, where L is the level of the parallel processing which we are trying to introduce here. For example, one more thing, if we see the previous architecture here and we apply here the in that case, if we change the position and location of the input and output, and we change the direction of the flow of this one, then we will get here the data broadcast structure here, and this data broadcast structure has the critical path length lesser than that of the previous one here. Now it operates on a single input, and if we apply here the parallel processing, then it at the level of the 3, then the 3 sequences will be processed at the same time. And in order to get here the architecture, parallel architecture, we will describe the output here. In this case, yn is axn plus bxn minus 1 plus cxn minus 2. So here we will apply n will be replaced by the 3k, and we will get this equation here, that y3k is equal to ax3k plus bx3k minus 1 cx3k minus 2, and similarly for the second one we will get this equation, third one. So here the T sample is greater or equal to the T critical, what was the previous one, divided by L. So the T sample will be the Tm plus Ta divided by the L. In this case, that is the speed up algorithm has taken place here in this case. Now the second concept, in the first concept we have applied the different types of the algorithm on the architecture of the design system in order to enhance the performance of the system. And the second thing is, now we can change the different number system that are suitable for the purpose of the enhancement of the algorithm. For example, if we are using here the binary number system, then in the binary number system we use the 0 and 1, and 0 and 1 are having the nature of the additivity because both are the positive numbers, and due to this nature the carry generation takes place, and if the word length is greater than 1, then it propagates, and the addition, multiplication or any type of the operation completes only when the complete carry propagation has taken place here. So due to the carry generation and propagation, the speed of the algorithm reduces here, and we try to enhance the performance of the systems by using the different addition methods. But what happens, there is some chances of the carry generation and the addition. So here, if we assume that we are generating here the numbers having the negative bits also, then what will happen if there is probability of the occurrence of the carry or generation of the carry, then that will be counterbalanced by this negative number here. How these negative numbers will be generated? For that purpose, we can utilize here the binding number system, that is the 0 1, their combination, that is the 0 0 0 1 1 0 1 1, and then we can apply here the LSB minus MSB or the MSB minus LSB. Then we will get here the 3 bit, that is the minus 1 0 and L. Similarly, we can get here the range of the minus L to L for the radix L system here, and then we can decide here this type of the number system is nothing but if we consider only this one, that is the minus 1 0 and 1. Then in this case we are using only the signed binary number system. So, and since there is redundancy, why there is redundancy? Because if we are using here the minus 1, then for example, if we are interested in order to represent the 8 may be represented by the 7, then 7 may be represented by 8 minus 1, or 9 minus 2, or 10 minus 3. There are so many methods by which we can represent the 7. So there is redundancy. So this type of the number system is known as the redundant binary signed digit number system, that is the RBST here. We have described that we can get here the so many types of the number system using here the different types of the redundancy. Now, if we compare the performance of the different types of the adders, for example, here we have considered the example of the ripple carry adder, carry completion adder, and the carry save adder. Along with the performance of the redundant binary signed digit number system, then we'll find that the performance of the redundant binary signed digit number system is much better than that of this number system in terms of the speed here. As we are getting here the more and more speed, that is we have just eliminated the carry generation. Now, what is the drawback? In this case, we are using the 2 bit at the same time in order to represent 1 bit here. So we can say the larger area is required in order to represent this type of the system here. So as we have discussed that we are our strategy is to design the efficient system here. So first of all, we have to understand the application problem. Then we have to design the algorithm according to the requirement. And after getting the algorithm, this algorithm has to be converted into the implementable form. And then we will apply here the efficient implementable algorithm concept by using the pipelining, parallel processing, timing, retiming, folding, unfolding, and other concepts. Then if the result is satisfactory, then that will be implemented either in the hardware form or in the software form. Now, for the purpose of the implementation, we must be familiar with a particular target. For example, we are interested for the TMS 320C6713, then we must be familiar with that particular target here, and we must learn how the program or the code will be generated for that particular processor or the target. Then we must be aware with the writing and running the useful programs on that particular processor here. So, and then we will apply here a real time signal for the purpose of the application here. In order to be familiar, it means we must be aware with the basic concept of the DSP. We must be about the architecture. We must know the architecture of the DSP processor, and then it's here the interface in internal and external interface, so that the processor can interact with the signals, analog signal, digital signal, or any other type of the signals here. And Code Composer Studio, just to describe the concept of the IDE, integrated development environment. And we must know about the here some software, for example, the MATLAB design and analysis tool for the purpose of the designing of a particular system or the filter here. In order to learn how to program a particular processor, we must know the writing and compiling the code. We must be aware with the fixing of the error, downloading code to the target and it's their execution debugging concepts. So here we have discussed these concepts that first we must know the concept of the understanding the problem, then designing the algorithm, then implementable algorithm, then that algorithm will be converted into the efficient implementable algorithm, then we will move towards the implementation either in the hardware form or the software form. In this case, we are targeting here one target, that is TMS320C6713, and that will be downloaded. The concept will be downloaded through the IDE, that is the CCS Code Composer Studio. And it here, whatever is the code, whether we have written the code in the .m file, .mdl file, or that is in the real any toolboxes or any other form, first of all, that will be converted into the .c, that will be accepted by the compiler, and the output of the compiler will be the .sm, that will be considered as the input to the .sm. Output of this one will be the .obj, and output of the linker will be the .out or the .bin, that will be downloaded to the given target here. So this is the basic concept of the designing of the filter, means how the filter on a system will be designed and the implemented here. We have started from the requirement, and then we have described how the systems mathematical model will be developed, its analysis will be done, and how that will be converted into the efficient algorithm form. And then if we are getting here the satisfactory result, then how those concepts, means that algorithm will be downloaded on a given target, and then how that target along with the peripherals will be utilized for a particular field of the application. So thank you very much.